Go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
Hit the record button.
Gosh, that's swell.
It's a Lowe's Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, dear brothers. Hello, dear sisters. This is Italo from Italo's Black Talk Radio, and this is another show that I struggle to come back to this podcast for several reasons, but one of them is the turmoil that's going on in the country, and I wanted to have a poet who is conscious enough, I've seen on stage, and I've seen him I think I've seen Conney at the world stage, if I'm not mistaken. I also see him in Pasadena, I forget the name of the place. I've seen him in different places, Beyond Baroque, I think in Venice. Anyhow, I want to welcome Conney Williams to the show. How you doing, Conney?
How you guys doing? How you doing?
We're good. We're good. Yeah. I can hear you.
All right.
So welcome to the show. This is Italo from Italo's Black Talk Radio. Although you may not know me, by this name, but just want to put that out there. So something about Conney that I know, besides that he's a great performer and a great writer, is that he states that I refuse to be a wallflower in life. Every day is an opportunity to live, breathe, create, love. To love and love is contagious. So go and infect somebody. He's also the author of the poetry collection. I like that. I'm gonna steal that. So he's the author of poetry collection, Leave of Spirit from an Untamed Poet, and he's on a journey called life, seeking desperately to infuse something good into it. That sums it up, I think. Kind of what why I have you on this one. Why I have you here today is obviously what's happening to worldwide, because it's not just in the States now. It's George Floyd. It's just something that had to happen in order for us to realize this is real.
It's the corporatization.
And it's still happening.
The corporatization of this world. This world is run by corporations. I mean, it's pretty whack. You know, if you go from Mexico to Brazil to China to India, it's all giant tech and companies and corporations, and they don't care about the people. I mean, it's pretty bad worldwide. So,
and meanwhile, we're divided. You know, we have people that are for Black Lives Matter, some people that are for, to shut down the protests, because people made mistakes, and I did mistake it before. I thought protests and riots is the same thing, but it's not. That was something I realized watching all this unfold in real time, because back in the days in '92 when I came to the States for the second time, I had no idea what just happened. Right, I just missed the riots in LA and the whole thing, and so I didn't know how it unfolded in real time. And now that I've seen it unfolding in real time, I'm still not quite sure what's happening, right? So I know what's happening. It's just that I don't want to believe it. That's the question.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but it's what I've seen my entire life. I'm 63 years old. I'm from Shreveport, Louisiana, so I grew up in the South. All my family's still there. Out of all my 10 other siblings, my mom had 11 children.
Wow.
You know, I'm the only one who left the South. I'm the only one who left there. So, and I moved to Los Angeles in 1981. But what is happening right now, and even with the language they use to talk about the protests, the word riot is always attributed to black and brown events when people are just fed up. That's, you know, but when white people go to the state capitol, you know what I mean, with their AK-47s, their assault weapons, and bulletproof vests, and all of those different things, then they are out there for justice. They are there for justice. Okay, they're there fulfilling the Second Amendment, the right to protest the right. That's what they're doing, right? Even though they're storming the state capitol with weapons, and we're out on the streets. We're always the rioters or the thugs. You know, so they don't say the N word anymore. They have their own code words that they use when they want to talk.
No,
about
so that would be racist, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Because the hypocrisy of it all, and I was watching the commissioners meeting. I think it was 2 days ago, and so I actually spent 6 hours watching them being held accountable. You know, the people want to hold LAPD, the police force in general, the government in general, responsible and accountable for what's happening. Accountable, and
this was one of
I loved it.
This was actually one of my suggestions in regards to the police department. You know, this is something I've been saying for a number of years. Is that you know, instead of, which is really, really kind of ironic and kind of crazy when you think about it. Think about this. It is the citizens, black and brown people mostly, who are being targeted by police, being killed, beaten, and all of these other things that they do to us, right? And we are the citizens of this city, and we pay taxes, right? And then these policemen go out and do what they've done to people like George Floyd, you know, and others, you know, black and brown people that have been murdered by the police. And when they do this, the city gets sued. And then they have to make a big payout to the person because of the bad conduct of these police officers. And that money that we pay out comes from the citizens. Somebody has to pay it. It comes from the city.
Right.
So we're paying for their, not only for being killed by them, we're paying them to kill us, and then paying people off for the fact that they did kill someone. It's ridiculous. It's an unbelievable cycle. And the money should be coming out of their budget. It should be coming out of their pensions. It should be coming from the personal accountability of those particular police officers. And I can guarantee you, if that started to happen, it would be amazing how policemen would start policing themselves and holding their other police officers accountable if it came out of their pensions. You see what I'm saying? If it came out of their budget. All right? If they personally had to pay for their own insurance. I mean, think about it. That would be a 360-degree turn in the police department overnight.
Yes. Well, and then I used to work for a cable company, right? And there used to be back in the days. This was back in the 90s. There was a training for customer service, and we had to go through it. It was 3 months long, this training. 3 months. And I couldn't understand. I'm like, this is just cable, right? But after that 3 months, and then we had to get on the phone and the call center and all that. Okay. Now, back in those days, 3 months seemed like it was a very long time, and it was.
Right.
You know, it taught me many things before I got on the phone and I got on, you know, and then when you get on the phone, you forget the whole thing, right? So, anyways, my point is,
absolutely.
after hearing how many hours, not just 3 months, hours that they have to train the cops to get on the streets and to face everything that's happening. It's less than it's probably a month or so, less than a beautician, less than customer service for a cable company.
Wow.
I cannot imagine being on the street after 1 month or maybe 3 weeks or whatever, and being thrown at this thing. What is happening? Like, are you serious? And I didn't know this until I'm telling you, 2 days ago was like, oh my God, I cannot understand.
They have a 6-month training period. 6 months. 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
6 months.
Because what I understood was it was a shorter time, but I guess I don't know. Maybe right along.
They train. I used to work. I worked many years for the city of. I worked for many years. I retired from the city of Los Angeles.
Okay.
Yeah, I worked for the Department of Water and Power. Yeah. Just a little bit.
So you have seen.
But 6 months is still a very short period of time to be responsible for taking people's lives and enforcing the things that they have to do and learning how to mitigate different circumstances, how to de-escalate. They have, and being able to rightly discern all the situations that go into whether or not you're going to pull your gun and shoot someone. So, 6 months to me is a very short period of time to be able to accomplish that. So,
yeah, and when you have other options, you have other options like talking is one option before pulling the gun. Anyhow,
and not thinking. And not thinking because somebody says something back to you that they're disrespecting you, and disrespecting you is not against the law.
No, it's your First Amendment, right?
Disrespecting a police officer is not breaking the law.
Right.
If you talk back.
Or shopping. Or shopping at Walmart is not a sin. It's not a crime. Or walking the dog.
Any of the myriad of things that black and brown people find themselves doing on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, listening to music is not illegal. I can go on and on. However,
absolutely,
in the theme that I wanted to start, because this podcast that I'm doing, it's always shifting, right? There's always a shift. First it was coronavirus. Mm-hmm. Before that it was something else, and then we have the political, turmoil and all that. So, anyways, what I wanted to do is I wanted to dive into poetry, if we can. I know you have something that you may want to read, and then we can discuss it.
You tell me what I can say and what I can't say.
You can say everything. This is not. I'm not gonna edit this, so the floor is yours.
This poem is called "Black Folk Know What They Know." I don't explain poems, so black folks know what they know. Superstition stitched inside the house coat of blackness. It's served hot all times of day like chicken and waffles. Mama said we know what we know. American DNA defines the undeniable, the unknown of us, the human of us. So repeat the hypnotist incantation. When was America great? MAGA. When was America great? MAGA. White privilege is a coma out of context. Blacks, nothing more than allegory. My community knows Lady Justice got turned out a long time ago. Hooker no longer blushes, eyes gouged, probably wishes she could wash her hands like Pontius Pilate. Blackness, not destiny, but fate. Dice always rolling snake out. Daddy said, we know what we know. Like when Master preached, slaves, obey your masters. Black folks was like, yeah, right, motherfucker. They know Master couldn't been talking about the same Jesus they grew up with in Egypt with nappy locks of hair, then moved to some projects in Galilee. Black folks known more than rivers. We walked on waters without the assistance of a Messiah. Black folk ain't never believed in no white Santa Claus or Easter Bunny. People from my neighborhood doubted forever that Neil Armstrong leaped for all mankind on the dark side of the moon. So when prosecution of a police officer makes a Sasquatch appearance across the vast of blackness engulfed by exploitation and stereotype, learn to disrobe their faith, transform naked from scars. We know superstition stitched in our house coat cause the alterations made by colonizers. Only take them one generation, convince black folk they God ain't really no God. What kind of name for God is Ogun and Oshun, Shango, Yimiya? Black tradition, only incantation. The white God, the only God. Everybody know Jesus favored Jeffrey Hunter with that blonde hair and blue eyes. I know you've seen his picture hanging over your grandmother's kitchen. The white heaven, the only heaven. And the notion of Jefferson's equality ain't nothing except white noise. Has no traction in Watts or Leimert Park. The prism through which black folk view one nation under God is never indivisible or for all. Black folk in America born on imbalanced scales that spill niggers into profitable prisons, street corner executions. Told you, black folks superstition. If you let the Constitution explain it, everybody got an equal chance. But you tell me what country get a 400-year head start on capitalism with all that free black labor? I know what you're saying. All black folks do is play the victim, and the chorus is never unrehearsed. We know what your Chicago references mean, how it explains who you are, as though we have thugs to protect and serve. We know your blame a nigger handbook. Save your Oscars audition. We've seen this moving. We know how the birth of a nation ends. We know outdone. We know crack and Contra got Reagan elected to a second term. Yet black folks only cast in B movies. We saw that bootleg video, that defenseless black body, hands in worship running in reverse, sprawled and splattered like the chalk lines of an FBI informant across television pavement and Simi Valley courtroom. Every movement we start, you sabotage. Death or slavery, coerced informants. J. Edgar cross-dressed king and panther. See, black bodies lack the kind of gaskets that prevent loss of scarlet memory. Make up your mind. Do you want us to be subservient or not? Why are you offended when we kneel? We already know whether you Republican or Democrat. You only going to ride so far with us. Only difference, one more up front. Republicans appreciate niggas, self-loathing in their demographic. Democrats want niggas who like bounce checks over real change. White America almost never believes when black people say how they feel, when we say that we was murdered and the video wasn't grainy, even if black folks heave when explaining they can't breathe. Call our mamas while pleading the fifth. Ain't nothing unbelievable about reruns with unchangeable plot. Mama said, we know what we know. Thank you.
Yeah. Wow. This is going to be so banned. And I'm so for it. I'm like, please ban it. I'm never so sick. You know.
We know, but we know.
Yeah, we know what we know.
I don't care what little game. I don't care what game you're trying to play. We know. We know what's up. We know what's going on.
Yeah.
And people tired of that bull crap. They tired of it. They tired of, being treated this way. It's time out. How many black people got to die? And then the first thing they want to do, the first thing out of their mouths is, what about Chicago? You know what I mean? As though we don't care about our own people. But the bottom line is we didn't hire the guy on the street corner to protect and serve. We hired you to protect and serve. That's what we hired you to do. It's not a competition. And, so I don't even buy into that narrative when they want to try to switch the narrative of what we're really talking about. We're talking about people who have been hired to protect us are coming in and killing us. They're coming in and killing us.
In broad daylight.
And this stuff has been going on in broad daylight, and it's been going on, and the thing that bothers and hurts so much is that most white people act as though it's brand new, act like it just started.
Mm-hmm.
They're acting as though this is something brand new, and we've been saying all along, and that's the part of me writing this poem is because they're acting as though this is the first time this has happened to a black person. All of a sudden, this is, Trayvon Martin was just as tragic. Breonna Taylor, right now, in I think in Louisville, right now. This has been going on ever since I can remember.
Yeah. It's interesting because I was driving down from San Bernardino. I think it was Monday. Monday. And I was listening to another podcast from these police officers, right? And right away I was going to turn it down and switch, right? But I listened. And they were two black cops, and they were speaking, they were Christian and all that. Okay, nice. Jesus is right, whatever. And so, but then I listened, right? And then we started talking about the area I was driving through. They were talking about San Bernardino, and they were talking about Azusa, and they were talking about the area I was driving through, right? And suddenly dawned on me, I'm like, it's happening around me, right? Anyways, and then they were talking about how they also have families, and they also have wives and children and people that are worried about them. And so I had to put myself in their shoes, and realize that they are human as well, right? And I hate it when I hear Blue Lives Matter as if they were, as if their uniform dictates how they should act from then on. As if being black, you get into a uniform, you have to change into somebody else that you have to become this other person. You have to create this alter ego. And they were talking, and I started bawling, honestly, because I realized one thing is that they also were lied to when they brought into the police academy, and they had to swear to serve and protect. Well, they went in this game. This is all a game. They didn't see how politics, how they're pulled by the politics and their commissioners and oh my God. And so anyways, the point is, I realized something that day. I'm like, I realized, oh my God, so they are human too. They have a story as well. And people don't want to hear it because they wear a badge and they wear a uniform. It was interesting.
I just want them to stop killing us. That's all I want. I mean, right. I can understand the difficulty of their job, but they signed up for that job, just like anybody who's signed up for that particular job. And I certainly have empathy for them, and I don't believe that all policemen are bad policemen. However, there is a pervasiveness throughout all police departments, wherein you have these cops who are allowed to do things unchecked, and people. I mean, it just happened here in Los Angeles with the homeless guy that the police officer just was literally pummeling, and his partner, she was just standing there watching him while he did it. And then these guys watching how they killed George Floyd. There's a pervasiveness, whether there's a certain percentage who are actually doing the act, but then you have an even larger percentage that know that these things are going on, and they allow it to continue. They don't speak up. They don't say anything, and yet you swore an oath to do a certain thing, and it just throws chaos into the whole system. It doesn't work anymore. You know, it doesn't work anymore. If you're going to stand by and allow this police officer to just beat a homeless person with his fist like he's a freaking animal, like he's a dog.
Mm-hmm.
Or the lady who was beat on the side of the freeway by the deputy sheriff.
Oh yeah.
Any of them.
So that. Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but the culture of permitting this to continue, that's the problem. That's the bigger issue. You know, to me, is that yes, all of this is going on, but then it's covered up. It's
mm-hmm.
You know, there's no accountability. There's just no accountability.
Right. And their apologies don't sound true, don't sound honest.
What?
You know, they're hollow. They're hollow promises. There's no action behind it. It's just words. They don't mean anything.
Because it continues. Because it continues. And there are certain police departments, LAPD, New York PD, you know, Minneapolis is a notorious place for black people. Chicago PD, a lot of these cities, they all have reputations that precede them. You know, I mean, it's like a feeding frenzy. It's like a feeding frenzy sometimes. Watching how quickly they multiply and they gravitate to escalate situations that don't require it. Such an overreach. The way that they react to different situations.
Right. Yeah, they should have anger management. Yeah, I know. Anyways, right? I did actually want to share a poem too because I had a hard time coming up with something. And so, anyways, I wanted to read this live since we're talking about this topic, right? And if I stop in the middle of it, it's because I may not be able to finish, but I will try to make it through. It's called Dear Commissioner. So here it goes. Should I be worried about my punctuation? Should I be worried if my poem rhymes well? What rhymes with murder? What rhymes with rage? Frustration, disillusion, and pain. Should I be worried about those cops that swore to serve and protect? Yet time and time again, they keep on killing those they serve, only to get a slap on their hands publicly, followed by a pat on the back privately, as you all laugh over the office water cooler. Yeah, another sad statistic, yada yada, another inconvenient casualty caught on tape. How much is a human life worth to you, Commissioner? How much is a black life? How about a white life? A brown life? You attended that Zoom meeting looking as if you'd rather be somewhere else. Golfing, perhaps? Fidgeting uncomfortably as the citizens of LA take their turn to spit on your face, slap you silly, figuratively, wishing it was literally, reminding that you stepped down, yet you're still there, looking blankly at your computer with your racist eyebrows and a mark on your face. How did that feel? Did it feel like you couldn't breathe? A meme, a footnote, a case closed file. That's what George Floyd has become. Another brick on the wall that separates us farther apart. To you, he's just a black life. What's he worth to you? How much for your children's lives? I'm talking to you, Commissioner. Are you even listening? Or did you tune me out, like you tune out all the protesters of LA, the protesters of the whole nation, heck, the whole world? Do you believe in God, Commissioner? What would you say when you, too, face him after your last breath? What if the first person you see in the afterlife is George Floyd, or Trayvon Martin, or Michael Brown, or Tamir Rice, or Sandra Bland, or Philando Castile, and the other 600 that were killed under your watch? What will you say to them when you're faced with the ghosts that have haunted you and kept you up at night? The good news is that you still have time, Commissioner. It's never too late. Best thing you can do, step down. There are better things you can do with your time. Instead of wasting hours, golf, chess, backgammon, target practice, perhaps? Why don't you let that 17-year-old young man take control? He offers solutions, not hollow apologies. Or let that 16-year-old black woman finish her sentence. Her story is valid. Her voice should be heard, loud and clear. Let all of us Angelinos alone and get off our backs. Get your knee off our necks. Believe what we say when we say we can't breathe. Believe when we say we plead for mercy. Believe when we piss in fear as you choke our air supply. Believe when we say, please, I can't breathe. I can't breathe. Mama, I'm through. My neck hurts. Everything hurts. Some water or something. Please, sir, please, don't kill me. You're going to kill me, man. I cannot breathe. Please, I can't breathe. For those might be the last words we say before we meet our Maker. Thank you. I yield my time to my brothers and sisters. Trust. They're coming for you, Commissioner. Yeah. I spent 6 hours watching.
Yes, you're gonna be banned.
Oh my gosh. And it was hard to read it out loud this morning to Seth earlier. And he said, you know what, you have to do it, and it shouldn't be 4 minutes long. It shouldn't be, you know how they set the timer to 2 minutes and then 1 minute, and then it's like, no, they need as much time as they want to have because they deserve to be heard. And it's just rude,
right,
when they're not even paying attention. So I'm just posting left and right. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna flood my Instagram account and my TikTok account and everything on Facebook too, because now they are banning me from Facebook. You know what? I'm gonna flood it all and repeat because I need to listen to the people that are speaking and you know, it's just
and believe them.
Right.
When they say that I can't breathe, believe them. If they're saying that you're killing me, if you're murdering me, believe them.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, it's you know, and then the thing is also is when you're watching something so graphic and something so raw, you know, and TikTok, it's just actually they're coming up on top right now. I'm not even watching CNN, headline news, Fox News, nothing, because the people are telling the story, you know, and they're showing us what they see in the street, and you know, I must commend them because I was afraid of going out this week out to protest because of everything I was seeing.
I was there last Saturday on at 3rd and Fairfax. I was there.
Oh wow!
Last Saturday. Yeah, it was incredible.
Right.
It was incredible. Yeah. I left right before before it got crazy, but I was there at 3rd and Fairfax. They had the whole intersection blocked off. It was an amazing event. The people were really fired up and really excited and stuff like that. So I had my son out there with me. I wanted him to be out there to be a part of that, and it was a really wonderful experience to be out there with the people and standing up and just saying we've had enough, and something fundamentally needs to change in the fabric of this country in the way that people of color are treated, and our lives not being valued to the same degree as other people in this society.
Mm-hmm. Right. But yeah, I wanna go out, and I just have I had a change of mind, you know, after I wrote this today. Because I wrote it this morning, but it's been writing in my head. I don't know if you get this. It's been writing itself in my head. I just couldn't put it in words, and when I started doing that, and then I saw the words of George, because I was reading George Floyd's last words at the end.
Right.
And he says, "Mama, mama," right? And I'm like, fuck. He was seeing her. I know he was seeing her.
Right.
And he just kept pressing down, and he's like, "My nuts." At one point, I took that out. I took that part out because he said "my nuts" at one point. Everything hurts.
Right.
Damn. What else, man? Like, what else can you say? And the last word.
Stop killing us. Stop killing us. Stop killing us. Yeah. Stop killing us.
And
stop.
That's what he was saying repeatedly. Please.
Stop killing. Yeah. Stop killing our fathers and our mothers. Stop killing our sisters and our brothers and our children and our grandchildren. Stop killing our coworkers. Okay. Stop killing us. That's all we're saying. It's not a hard thing. Just stop killing it.
It's not much to ask, right?
It's not. Come on. Stop killing it.
Yeah.
That's just it. Plain and simple. You know.
And if this podcast is banned, so be it. I don't give a shit. Because that's as an American, because I was born in UCLA. I was born in the city of Angels. So, and I believe in my First Amendment. Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
I gotta tell the truth. I don't have a choice. So.
Yeah.
So I don't. It is what it is.
So I usually I don't edit anything. I'm like, let's just put it out there, and whoever has to hear this, and if you want to share it, if you want to post it on your TikTok, if you want to put it on Instagram or Facebook, go ahead, because they're gonna take it down, and that's fine. Just save it on your file and post it again, and it'll happen again, and that's fine. Keep doing that. That's how we're doing that nowadays. Because everything that is revelatory, everything that's controversial gets taken down right away. So you know what? Save it on your phone, save it on your computer, save it on your hard drive, because you will forget. You have to be reminded of what you saw, and you know what I mean? Like your eyes. Right. Trust your eyes. Trust your instincts. Like you saw it.
That's why I said we know what we know. Okay, you can try the 3-card Monty if you want to. You can try the magician, the sleight of hand. You can pull out your top hat. We know what we know. We ain't falling for the okie doke, as we say down south.
I think I got the title for this podcast. We know what we know, by Conney Williams. But
we're not being fooled by your words and your promises and all the kumbaya. Okay, we just want to see you stop killing it. That's it. You know.
Right.
You taking a knee in the street. You shaking our hands. You giving us a hug. Don't mean anything. Stop killing it. That's it. Plain and simple.
Yeah. Plain and simple. I do have to let you know that there's only a few minutes left, so I do want to thank you, Conney Williams. How can people
thank
find
you for
you
inviting
online?
me.
Yeah, thanks for coming, dude. I wish we could meet in person. Maybe one of the protests, or
sometime soon. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure sometime soon. Because most of the states, I think, should be open by the end of this month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they already got restaurants open now. So, yeah. Right. They're opening restaurants this week.
In San Bernardino, you can actually go into a restaurant, and there's there's a few places.
Right.
LA,
so,
basically, different. So you can go to Vegas too. You can go to Vegas.
Well, up to 50%. You can have up to. You can't exceed 50%. Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
That's legal. So we'll see.
So
I'm
gonna put all the links below,
because
I'm gonna put you have a Facebook account. I know you have an Instagram, right?
Right.
Do you want to tell them about your book?
Well,
how do people get your book?
I'm working on a new manuscript that I'm actually getting ready to turn into the publisher, the press. At the end of this, probably next week. By next week, it's called the The Distance of Observation. So be looking out for that soon. It'll be coming out on World Stage Press and stuff. I used to run the writing workshop at the World Stage for many, many years before I stepped down. Yeah. So been a part of the World Stage for over about 25 plus years. So it's an amazing, wonderful space for poetry and literary events and for jazz and jazz training as well. So, yeah.
Yeah. Is it still open or have they closed during the
well, they're closed right now for the pandemic. We should be opening soon based upon whatever the requirements are for places like the World Stage in the city of Los Angeles. So we're waiting to get a word from the mayor in regards to non-essential places like the World Stage. Although, if you ask anyone who is part of it, say it's very essential. But as far as the distance and being able to gather together in that space, how we'll be able to do that moving forward. So,
great. Well, once again, Conney, it's been great. Thank you for your poem. Thanks for the chat, and we'll be talking soon. And for those that are always listening to me, you didn't see this coming.
We are go for liftoff in T-minus 30.
It's a recorded lecture.
Gosh, that's swell.